Welcome. The Queen has welcomed the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang to Windsor Castle at the start of a three-day official visit. He's now in Downing Street for talks with Prime Minister David Cameron. The talks are expected to focus on plans to boost trade and investment. Here's our World Affairs correspondent, Paul Adams.
Premier of the People's Republic of China, Your Majesty.
A grand, decorous start to a day of hard business. It's believed the Chinese threatened to cancel the whole trip if this meeting wasn't included. Scenes like this matter back home. From Windsor Castle to the Treasury and the heart of the British economy, Mr. Li says he wants to draw on British experience. China, he says, is a latecomer to modernisation, with lots to learn. And lots to invest too. A £1 billion plan to turn a stretch of London's Docklands into an Asian trading hub. Just one example of the sort of grand project the Chinese have in mind.
The trade relationship is improving, but it's still very underdeveloped by comparison with somewhere like Germany, for example. But there is a lot of money coming into the UK in investment, and particularly in these big infrastructure projects that the government is trying so hard to push at the moment.
Among a host of deals expected to be signed today, a $20 billion project for BP to supply China with liquefied natural gas. The end of a 30-year ban on British beef and lamb, which could be worth more than $200 million, and a major commitment worth around $1.5 billion from one of China's newest investment corporations. Helping to ease the way, a new streamlined visa system announced yesterday. Welcome news for Chinese tourists and businesses alike. When it comes to human rights, familiar concerns are once again on display outside Downing Street. But so too this morning, the symbols of a burgeoning relationship. Paul Adams, BBC News.
Well, with me now is marketing specialist Yintong. She specialises in Anglo-Chinese business relations. Lots to talk about, Yintong. How are you viewing the fact that Li Keqiang has come at all? Are you pleased that this is happening?
I'm very pleased about the visit, and I think it's a very positive move for Anglo-Chinese relations. And the more visits they have, more communication they have, and it's like a glue to glue the two countries together to generate a positive impact. Because
things have gone a little cool over the last few years with Prime Minister David Cameron's visit, meeting with the Dalai Lama. How important is an overall kind of spirit of warmth to those cold, hard business figures, the money deals?
Well, at the highest level, obviously it's different from our business dealings and cultural exchange. But if the two governments are friendly, it definitely generates more business and people more interested in each other. So it's very important that we have this warm relationship.
What are the challenges when both countries are doing business with each other?
Generally speaking, we have like three sets of challenges or barriers: language, cultural background, and business dealings. However, I think they can be overcome by individuals, their visions and their determination. So I think people, when they deal with each other, they need to be very much open-minded so that they accept we're different.
Are there trivial things that make a real difference? Differences in how people greet each other, how spontaneous you can be, etc.?
I think you just be open and sincere and then accept what you are and trying to find an approach that is suitable for each other. I think that's a key thing.
And the Chinese way of doing things, is it possible to define it?
Well, I think sometimes, you know, both parties can be guilty and think our way is the best way and is the most suitable way. But I don't think there is a suitable way or the only way. Anything works, that's the only way.
We're going to talk about another aspect of getting to know China. We've been seeing a lot of quite prominent artists come out of China. You've got a couple in mind. I think we can show a couple of the pictures of these two artists on one of our screens. Yep, there we go. There we go. And that's an exhibition that's been taking place.
Yes.
Just talk us through a little, Yintong.
Great. We're very privileged to be entrusted on this project. So we staged an exhibition, photography exhibition called Ebb and Flow, an exhibition by Qin Yuhai, a renowned Chinese photography artist. and we staged them in the Archie Gallery, and then generate a huge interest by the audience, especially coincide with Premier Li Keqiang's visit. So that is generate extra interest, if you like.
And I mean, these getting to know situations, whether it's through art or sitting down together socially between people doing business. I mean, one other aspect you mentioned was language. Is it very important for not only Chinese to speak English or another European language? What about Mandarin? At the moment, I know in a lot of schools here in Britain, young children are being encouraged to learn Mandarin. Is that a key factor?
It is, but you can't expect everyone speaks Mandarin. But again, come back to open-mindedness. I think is very important. For example, our backing personality for this exhibition, Mr. Cao Jian, he made a success from his business, and then now he promotes Chinese art to overseas. And then he's a very visionary person, and he's determined, and he's open to new culture and new businesses. So he do everything to promote China internationally, accept the Chinese international standard, international way of doing things. So I think it's more important than the language.
Yintong Betsa, thank you very much for coming.